Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here, and welcome to another video. This is going to be the last one in this series until a little later on when we're going to do obviously a big update on this once the filter matures, the plants grow and all that sort of stuff, and as I just gave it away. The overwhelming, there was only one or two other people who picked any other kind of option for it. Everybody wanted some form of under gravel planter filter, and that's what we're going to go with. And the reason why I'm starting here with this female guppy is because she's obviously very pregnant, and you can see a little baby there right at the bottom of the screen who probably isn't going to make it. She was in the process of having a few babies when I came down to do the work for this, and I thought, well, I'll follow around with a camera because, as I've mentioned before, I've never caught that on film. So I think for about a half hour, she's thinking about eating that one. She never bothered. She did actually eat one other one, but I didn't get that recorded either. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to catch this. I don't think it's going to happen. I've raised I don't know how many fish over the years, and I've never had a guppy give birth when I was actually there at the time. Oh well, just one of those things. So this is where we left it off on Wednesday. Up and running and everything, and flowing well. I let it flow for, pretty much since Wednesday, just to make sure there's no leaks or whatever, and then I need to take this apart. Well, actually, I need to take apart the input. The input has to change into this kind of shape, because I need to take the water and bring it to the bottom and get it to flow along the base of the filter, and then percolate up through it. Now, the other thing I need to do is that arm, the long one, this one here, I need to drill a bunch of holes in it just so that the water will spread out evenly. And I don't want to ever have to take this apart because it's one of those things that needs to mature for a length of time to do really well. And I want to make, in case this pipe slips to the bottom, actually in the end, as you can see here, I decided to make it just sit on the bottom. That way there's never any issues with it becoming plugged up, slipping, and I have to, like I said, take it apart, and that's just something to avoid. This way it'll be relatively maintenance free. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a drip going from that because I was just testing it out. That's easy to tighten up, and I will do so later on once I put the plate on and everything, because this all still has to come apart again. I just left everything relatively loose. So the other thing I need to do is put a plate under this. And the plate has to be a little higher. You can see those holes they're about 3/4 of an inch off the base. And I decided to build, instead of just using the usual pieces of acrylic and then putting the egg crate on top of that, I made a little platform a little bit higher. And also because it's glued together, it won't have any issues with like shifting or falling down or whatever. Again, so I don't ever have to take it apart. So here you go. This is it all together, and it is ready for it to turn it on and see how it all works. I'm not too worried about that part of it, obviously, because I know it works and it'll flow. The only hiccup here is I currently do not have an aquarium to put this on. The recycled rack is where I'm going to be putting this. The top row is already in use for a bunch of stuff. The angelfish tank, I think, maybe where this is going to go. But the next tank over, I'm growing currently a nice unicellular algae culture with a bunch of fish in it. Mostly because Don from New York Gold suggested that, during all those videos I did with having, diatom filter, get rid of algae blooms and whatnot, he then said that it'd be kind of cool to see if those fish raised in that environment would turn out more colorful. So I started another one. I started getting another culture going. So that's in that middle tank. And then, of course, the really big Matten filters in the far one on the right. So I have to get the bottom row going. And once I have that going, this is probably going to go on the angelfish tank, and I'll move those filters down, one of those filters down. And that's where, other stuff will go, of course. And then this will be in the top row, and then of course the plants will be able to grow across the top row, have lots of lighting and all that sort of stuff. So this is as far as this is going to get today, but it works, it flows. If you want to leave some suggestions for whether you want this to have lava rock and gravel, or crushed coral and gravel, leave that below. They will have slightly different chemical makeups for how the plants are going to grow, and if you are curious which one, about which one would be interesting to look at, definitely leave that, and I will get to that as well. And the last thing I want to talk about is, well, first off, I really want to thank everyone for all their input. It's been wonderful. It's great to see people's ideas. It actually has led to a couple of other videos, builds that I'm going to be doing. But one of the things I want to mention here is I think this is successful enough that I want to do it again. So also in the comments below, I'm going to suggest a build. Something that we can do along this lines where there's a number of stages where obviously we can make choices, where you guys can make choices and leave comments, and that way the build can go together and you guys can see how your choices work out. And that's the coolest thing about this, and seeing how this filter is going to go over time. It's mostly to see how what you've done, what it turns out to be looking like, and all that sort of stuff. So if you want another filter kind of build, actually I'm not going to say any suggestions. You've seen a bunch of my builds. I can build pretty much anything that has to do with an aquarium, but the only thing I would put on as a condition is make sure it's something that there are choices that are involved in making it. That's all. So come up with whatever you like. I will read through all the comments, answer them of course, and we'll finally get something. Once I have actually something interesting in there, or something that a lot of people want to see, I'll suggest it in the video coming up, and then we'll try that. That's probably about the easiest way of making this go forward. So anyway, as I said, I can't really go further with this currently because I need that tank. That will happen pretty fast, so I'll set it up, and then I'll do probably some fish room updates anyway, so it will definitely appear, and then we'll do stuff from time to time with it. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you ever so much for everything that you guys have done for the last week on this. It's very much appreciated. And like I said, we're gonna, hopefully this series will have enough interest to keep going, which would be kind of cool. And then there are other stuff coming up, of course, as well. So we'll get to all that as well. At the end of this video, there's one more thing I want to show you. Like I said, I was building this. Took not very long, but it took a couple hours to get everything put together, get the flow right, and then of course do all the recording and stuff. And during that time, I kept checking out that female guppy. She's right above here, and at the end here, I'm going to pan up to her. And no, she did not give birth at any point in time when I was paying attention to it. But then again, it's kind of hard to build something and keep an eye on something else as well at the same time. So anyway, if you like this style of video, please hit a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you feel like it. And like I said, we'll get to as many builds as possible. And those of you who wanted this to be internal, an internal filter on the tank, I actually am going to be doing a suspension filter. Leave a comment whether you want it to be a sand suspension, or there's the baby guppies, by the way, that I didn't get to see born, or a K1 kind of build. So let me know. Thanks again. I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.